Hi there, and welcome to this video on GCSE Biology for the AQA Specification, focusing on reproduction, and in particular on sexual and asexual reproduction. I'm Shumina from StudyMind, where we help you revise GCSE Biology with our helpful video tutorials, tailored to your subject, your specification, and to you. If you're new here, make sure you click the subscribe button. Whilst you are watching, please leave any comments below if you're unsure about anything, and let us know if it's your first time watching our videos so we can send you our free revision materials. We also have helpful timestamps below for each part of the video to help guide you through the specification. So let's get started.
Hello and welcome to this tutorial on sexual and asexual reproduction. So today we're going to be having a look at mitosis and sexual reproduction. So these are your specification points. Make sure you go through them at the end just so that you know exactly what you need to gain from these tutorials. So reproduction, as I'm sure you know, is one of the essential processes of life. So it doesn't only occur between human and animals, so we often think of reproduction in terms of making babies, but also our cells need to reproduce because they get to the end of their life cycle, they might get damaged, so they need to produce daughter cells and therefore sustain their population. So there are two different types of reproduction, and they are present for different purposes. So we're going to have a look at mitosis first. So this is one type of reproduction. And so mitosis is a form of asexual reproduction, and it leads to the formation of two daughter cells that are identical to the original cell. So if this is your parent cell, mitosis is going to produce, sorry, my writing's a little bit messy today, but so if this is your daughter cell, this is your parent cell, and when your parent cell undergoes mitosis, it's going to produce two identical daughter cells, okay? So the daughter cells are known as diploid cells, and it works via asexual reproduction. So mitosis is really important for growth and repair because we require many of the same types of cells, and therefore we rely on mitosis to sustain our numbers of cells in our body. So mitosis is very prevalent in the skin and muscle cells because these are cells with very quick, rapid turnovers. Now, asexual reproduction itself, so one of the two types of reproduction, takes place only via mitosis. It only requires one parent cell, therefore has no mixing of genetic material, which is why we get identical daughter cells to the parent cell, because there is no mixing of genetic material. An exact copy of the parent cell's genetic material is passed on to the daughter cells. So now let's have a look at mitosis in a little bit more detail. So first of all, the chromatids line up on the equator of the cells. So there's a little bit of terminology you might have to get your head around here. So chromatids refers to these structures here. And they are basically duplicated chromosomes. So you would call this a chromatid and this a chromatid, and these two are sister chromatids. Okay, and same on this side. And these chromatids line up on the equator of the cell, so this just means the middle of the cell, so you can see how they're aligned in the middle of this cell. The chromatids are then separated and sent to the poles of the cell, so they're sent to the edges of the cell. So you can see here how we've separated the chromatids, and they've moved to opposite poles of the cell. Now we need to form our two daughter cells. So all that's going to happen is our cell is going to split into two, as you can see here, and a cell membrane forms, the cytoplasm splits as well, and two new daughter cells are formed. And these contain the single chromosomes here, okay, rather than chromatids. Now, sexual reproduction is different to asexual reproduction as it doesn't form genetically identical clones. So instead, it forms daughter cells with a mix of the characteristics of the parent cells. Because there's more than one parent cell, remember, therefore there's mixing of genetic information. whereas in mitosis we're using a single parent cell, therefore there is no mixing of genetic information. So this is where meiosis comes in. So we'll go on to discuss meiosis in more detail in the next tutorial, but it's important to remember a few things. So I want you to remember that gametes are the sex cells of organisms, so we refer to the sex cells of organisms as gametes. In animals, our gametes are sperm and egg cells. However, in plants, they are pollen and egg cells. Gametes are an important product of meiosis. And whilst gametes are being formed, the genetic material from the parent cells are mixed to form a daughter cell. So we'll go into this in much more detail in the next tutorial, so don't worry for now. These are kind of like the basic informative statements that you need for the next tutorial. So now let's have a look at some practice questions. So below are 4 statements about sexual and asexual reproduction. Which of them are true? A. Meiosis produces gametes, also known as sex cells. B. Asexual reproduction produces genetic clones. C. Mitosis produces genetically different daughter cells. And D. Mitosis is solely used for asexual reproduction. So, oops, I didn't mean to show you the answer, but you can pause the video at this point and go through and decide which are true. But just in case you saw the next slide, we'll go through them as well. So, meiosis produces gametes, also known as sex cells. Yes, we know that. We know that meiosis produces 4 daughter cells, as we will see in the next tutorial, and these are gametes. Asexual reproduction produces genetic clones, so this is also true. Asexual reproduction occurs by mitosis. We know that we get genetically identical daughter cells because they're all from one parent cell. There's no mixing of genetic information. C. Mitosis produces genetically different daughter cells. So this is false because they are genetically identical. So that's basically the same statement as statement letter B, but we're using the word asexual reproduction instead of mitosis in B. So remember, both asexual reproduction and mitosis produce genetically identical daughter cells. And D, mitosis is solely used for asexual reproduction. This is incorrect because it is used for asexual reproduction, but it's also important in growth and repair. As we were talking about in the human body, we undergo mitosis regularly, especially in our skin and muscle cells. So mitosis is not only used for asexual reproduction. So that's all for today. Well done, and we will explore all of this in a lot more detail in subsequent tutorials.
Thanks for watching this free video from StudyMind. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe to catch our newest videos by clicking below, and leave a comment on a topic you'd like a video on. Click here to watch more videos in our series for GCSE Biology, or visit our website studymind.co.uk for free past paper compilations by topic and specification.